Hi lovelies! As the temperature outside continues to cool, soup season in my house is just heating up. And today I've got an absolutely amazing, quick and easy soup recipe for you that's perfect for busy weeknights, but is sure to please even the pickiest of eaters. It's this amazing tomato soup with tortellini, parmesan, and spinach. And it's so super flavorful, but really, really simple to put together. It all starts with a nice big Dutch oven heating up on the stove over medium-high heat. To that, I'm going to add some butter. You could use olive oil here instead, but you guys know how I feel about my butter. And as soon as that butter is completely melted, I'm going to go ahead and add some onion to the pot. I want to let that onion cook away for 2 to 3 minutes, just until it starts to soften up. And then I can add some garlic to this as well. Of course, because this is Italian-inspired cooking, I am going for it with the garlic. I've got 3 minced cloves here. You could go 4 if you felt so inclined. And I'll just let that garlic cook away for another 30 seconds to a minute, just to help it reach its maximum flavor potential. Next, I'm going to add some Italian seasoning to this. Now you can use store-bought or homemade here, totally up to you. I've got a great recipe for homemade Italian seasoning if you want to give it a try for yourselves. I'll link it in the description box below. As soon as that Italian seasoning is nice and fragrant, we'll go ahead and add a couple tablespoons of flour to this. So the flour is really going to help thicken up this soup and make it nice and rich and creamy, but I just want to cook off that floury flavor for 30 seconds to a minute, stirring it constantly. And as soon as that's happened, I'm going to go ahead and add my wet ingredients to the pot. So I've got some diced tomatoes here. You could use plain or fire roasted, which are my preference these days. I'm also adding some chicken broth to this. Veggie broth would be a great substitute. And finally, I'm going to add some tomato paste here. Tomato paste has a really incredible concentrated tomato flavor that is perfect in a tomato soup like this. Really, really tasty. I highly recommend it. And basically all we need to do at this point is give this a quick stir and then bring it to a boil. As soon as it's reached a boil, we're going to go ahead and add our tortellini to this. Now here I am using some fresh tortellini that you find in the deli aisle at your supermarket. You could also swap in some frozen here instead if you wanted to. I'm using cheese tortellini, but chicken or beef tortellini would work really well in this recipe. And basically as soon as your tortellini is in the pot, you can go ahead and reduce your heat to medium-low and let it simmer for just 8 to 10 minutes. That's really all it takes for the tortellini to cook through and become nice and tender. And of course, you'll notice that that broth has really thickened up and become super, super decadent. That means it's time to add my finishing ingredients. So to this, I'm going to add a nice big splash of cream. You can skip the cream if you want to, but I really think it adds a lot to the richness of this dish. I'm also going to be adding a nice heaping helping of freshly grated Parmesan cheese to this, so you get that beautiful savory umami flavor. And I'll also be seasoning this with some salt and some pepper to taste. As soon as that Parmesan is fully incorporated in the soup, the final step is just adding some greens to this. I'm using baby spinach here. You could also use kale if you wanted to. And I'm just going to stir it until it's completely wilted, which always takes about a minute or so. And honestly, guys, that is it. In under 20 minutes, this soup is on the table and you are in dinner heaven. It is super, super flavorful and your entire family is sure to devour it like mine does. I really hope you guys love this recipe as much as I do and that you'll give it a try in your own kitchens. If you do, be sure to tweet me, Instagram me, or Facebook me a photo because you know how much I love seeing your kitchen creations. This recipe, like all of our recipes, is featured on healthymealplans.com, our amazing meal planning site that allows you to browse more than 1,000 recipes, drag and drop them into your weekly meal plan, and then automatically generates your grocery list for the week so you can take it straight to the supermarket. How great is that? Finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because there is lots more deliciousness where this came from.